Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2023 related video here on my channel, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Yet another edition of the ESC is over and done with. The dust has settled on yet another musical extravaganza. And this video is the first of what I hope will be 4 videos over the next week or so that I intend on filming. The video you're watching now is going to be me talking about my time in Liverpool this past Saturday, the 13th of May, where I was with my friend Peter watching a screening of the grand final on one of the big screens that they had set up on the pier head in Liverpool as part of the Eurovision Village. I won't really be talking about the contest itself very much at all here, or indeed the results. That conversation is being saved for my next video, which will be a complete rambling review of the entire contest, and boy oh boy is there a lot to unpack. Some of those results, woof! So that conversation is being saved for next time. The third video, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be that reaction to the public half of the results as they came in from the Eurovision Village this past Saturday. That video was filmed on my friend's phone. It is considerably higher quality than every other video on my channel to date. But it's a very large file, so there's already been a few complications in terms of getting it sorted. And I'll tell you now in advance, I'm probably shouting my way through it. It's about 10 minutes long. I'm probably shouting my way through it, and you can't really see or hear a thing, perhaps. But that video hopefully will be on my channel very, very soon. The fourth video will be all of the other clips that I managed to film on my friend's phone last Saturday. So there'll be clips of me in the car on the way up to Liverpool, a clip of me in the car park when we arrived in Liverpool, and a few other bits and pieces from throughout the day. I also took quite a few photographs. My friend took photographs and a few other clips as well, and they'll surface on my other social media pages as and when. In fact, I put 4 of them up on my Twitter page yesterday. Links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. I should also say that last Friday I appeared briefly on my local radio station, BBC Radio Northampton. That whole spiel from that morning is on the BBC iPlayer, but this morning, today being Monday the 15th of May, I appeared on the radio again for a brief while to talk about my experience in the Eurovision Village, and it's on the BBC iPlayer, and I will put a link in the description so you can check it out if you so wish. You may or may not need an iPlayer account to listen to it. So, let's get cracking. A review of my day in Liverpool. So, long story short, just to fill you in on how this came to be, in case this is the first video of mine that you've ever seen, me and my friend Peter, as soon as it was announced that the UK would be hosting Eurovision 2023 on behalf of Ukraine, I said to him, look, I really feel as though we've got to go to this. I'd really like you to come with me because there's no way I'm going to be confident enough to do it by myself, and it could be a really great experience to share it with somebody. He said, fine. Skip forwards, months and months and months later, we're running the Instagram page that we have together, rajc.esc, link in the description to that, and things are moving along very nicely, but then tickets go on sale, and my friend is here with me. He's going for the Saturday big final. I'm going for the earlier Saturday family show. We're unsuccessful. We feel very miserable about it. It was the same day Switzerland's song was released, by the way. Skip forwards a few more weeks. The Eurovision Village is a thing. I'm thinking, do I go for this? Do I not? I have a conversation with Peter. He says, why not go for it? Because you may regret it if you don't. And I had a few comments on YouTube videos as well from individuals saying, go for it. It may not be here again for another 25 years or 50 years. Just go for it and see what happens. The first wave of Eurovision Village tickets went on sale. I didn't even know about it. I thought, what an absolute prat. I've missed my chance. Then the second wave of tickets went on sale, and it was a really smooth process, and I managed to get a ticket for me and my friend. £15 each. A bargain, to be honest with you. And finally, the day came, last Saturday. So me and my friend have been talking about the plan for the day in great detail. I must have bored him half to death by going on about this blasted contest so much. But anyway, last Saturday, we left where we live at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Me and Peter do not live in the same town. We live about 15 minutes away from each other by car. So he came to me, and we had a whole batch of food with us, and off we went. And I filmed a couple of clips in the car, as I said earlier, for this vlog that will hopefully surface on this channel very soon. It's not going to be a very long one, I will say that much. Anyway, we knew that it was going to take us nearly 3 hours by car to get up to Liverpool. And you might be thinking, well, why didn't you get the train instead? What? This is Britain. They're always on strike. So even if we had sorted out train travel up to Liverpool, not only would it have been very expensive, and we would have had to change trains multiple times, and it would have taken longer, I think, than going up in a car, the trains probably would have been cancelled anyway because they're always on strike. So we did absolutely the right thing by going in my friend's car. And we stopped once, and we arrived in Liverpool at about 11 AM. And it was a very warm day, and it felt really, really exciting driving into the city, past all of the run-down kebab shops, and seeing these Eurovision banners, you know, tied to the lampposts and everything. And that was really, really great to see. Anyway, in terms of the parking, this was a big deal, because we didn't really know where we were going to park the car at all. But my friend, Peter, managed to sort it out pretty swiftly enough. I didn't even know you could do this, but he reserved a space in a multi-storey car park. And we had that space, well, any space, he could have parked anywhere, until 6 AM on Sunday morning. How about that? So we parked up, walked down well, actually we got the lift down to the shops, walked around a few shops, very, very nice. Lots of the shop windows had displays to do with Ukraine and Eurovision, and that was great to see. And we went into Waterstones, the big bookshop, that was nice. And just down from Waterstones was the Eurovision shop that had opened specifically for the contest, of course. And there was a huge queue. And I said to Peter days before we actually went, I'd like to get the official programme book. And he said to me, I might get a shirt. I was wearing my shirt, which I've worn in a previous video and I won in a giveaway. Peter said I might get a shirt myself. We joined the queue. We were in the queue for 2 hours. Never again will I queue for something for that long. I mean, it was just ludicrous. The queue was so slow moving. And the reason it was taking so long was because in the shop, they only had a few people working in there. Fair enough. And they were only letting a certain amount of people in at any given time, so the workers weren't overwhelmed. Fair enough. But there was also this area where you could pose with props and have your photograph taken. That was what was taking so long. And I stood there, and I'm not a very patient person, and I was saying to Peter, I've had enough of this. I want some lunch, I'm getting hungry, this is annoying. There was a really nice woman next to us, and halfway through she just bailed. She had had enough. And a few other people were really getting quite annoyed as well. There was a moment, though, where we could pose with this miniature Eurovision trophy. That was quite cool, and once I get the photos for that, I might post them on my Twitter page or whatever. But yes, 2 hours or so this queue took, and then once we were in the shop, we were only there for about 5 minutes, because we knew what we wanted. We weren't faffing about. And I said, well, my friend said, I'd like a programme book and a t-shirt, and we were out of there within 5 minutes. Great, 2 hours just for that. But they were selling mugs, the programme books, shirts, hoodies, the CDs, and a couple of other bits and pieces as well. But a lot of the things that I thought were going to be there for sale, I didn't see at all. Now, it's worth saying that this was not the only place in Liverpool that you could buy merchandise. There were areas near the Eurovision Village as well. When me and my friend went down to the Eurovision Village later on, though, those merch places had shut. So clearly they'd sold out of their stock or whatever. So we did the right thing, in a way, queuing for 2 hours, but my God, was it dull. And warm. It was a really, really warm day. Once that was over, we had to get some lunch. By this point, the Eurovision Village had pretty much opened. It opened at 2 o'clock. And we had a McDonald's. Not the healthiest meal, but an easy way to get some grub inside of us. So I had some nice chicken nuggets, if you're interested, and large fries. And we sat near the window, and there was this big screen just across from us. and it was a Spotify advert, sort of on a loop, and it was saying, "Good luck, Alessandro. Good luck, Caria. Good luck, whoever." That was nice to see. And even in McDonald's, there were flags near the counter, so everybody was in the Eurovision spirit. And I should say the first Eurovision song that I heard in Liverpool was the Albanian entry, of all things, in this really nice shop that sold incense sticks. And lots of other wonderful bits and pieces too. Anyway, I'm really rambling here, but bear with me, we're getting there. After McDonald's, we headed down to the Eurovision Village, and you could see loads of people with flags, flags painted on their cheeks, lots of guys in crop tops and sparkly shorts. Yes, we did see that. And it was just wonderful, so busy, but the atmosphere was great. And in terms of the flags that we saw, mainly British flags and Ukrainian flags. After that, Spanish flags. A lot of Spanish fans. I think I even saw... was it a Galician flag? I'm not entirely sure, but there were loads of Spanish fans, a couple of German fans, one guy with a Belgian flag. We walked past two guys who had an Estonian flag, and I was very tempted to just go over to them and shake their hand and wish them good luck for the evening. And a couple of Israeli flags as well. Yeah, it was just a great atmosphere, and we walked past the Albert Docks area and saw some of those big inflatable birds that they had in Liverpool for the contest. It was really wonderful. And then we got to the Eurovision Village. Had a nice walk along the River Mersey where they had all of these padlocks, sort of like love padlocks. I think they have them in Paris as well. You know what I'm on about. There were loads of them along this stretch of path. And then we got to the queue for the Eurovision Village. And it was a long queue, but it moved fairly swiftly. And just as we were queuing up, Jedward appeared on stage. I think we'd missed Katrina from Katrina and the Waves. We heard her from a distance earlier on. But Jedward were on stage. They performed Lipstick and Waterline. And then we got through, and let me tell you this, lax security checks. I could have walked in with anything. All of this stuff online about prohibited items, and you might have to show photographic ID. Yeah, that wasn't really necessary, because people were walking in with what I thought were prohibited items, and nobody asked for photo ID from me. We were in, and we walked around for a bit, and there were loads of stalls, people selling food, overpriced food, and lots of people were having fried chicken, and there was this long bar as well, close to where we were standing. There were bars either side, actually. And we couldn't get near the front because it was absolutely jammed solid with people, which was fine. We were right at the back. And if you wanted to use the toilet, oh boy, you may as well have just peed where you were standing, because there were long queues for the portaloos, and right at the very back, this rather unpleasant looking area full of urinals. And I thought, oh, yeah, I might pass on that. But anyway, we knew, me and Peter, that we'd have to find a spot and stick to it, because if we got up and left, somebody would nab our place. So we pretty much stayed in the same place for hours, right next to this long bar. And I had a drink or two, and Peter had a drink, and we were just having a good time. Jedward, I don't mean to be rude, but Jesus wept, they were dreadful. Oh boy, they were bad. I thought, you're grown men, you're embarrassing yourselves here. They were doing this sort of Eurovision songbook. So they performed Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit, and Waterloo, and Euphoria, and etc, etc. And I thought, this isn't random whatsoever. They sounded dodgy. They didn't know the lyrics to 90% of the songs they were singing, bar their own. They were looking at the screen behind them to sing along with the lyrics. The crowd weren't interested. They jumped into the crowd at one point. They did a cover of The Killer's Mr. Brightside. They sang Wonderwall, which confused me and my friend, because I thought, hang on a minute, Oasis are from Manchester and they're singing this in Liverpool. We just thought it was all really odd, and we were thrilled when they finally got off the stage. I know it sounds rude, but my God, they weren't great. Sandy Shaw appeared, and she sang this really slow song which she mimed, and then she cleared off never to be seen again. Claire Richards from the band Steps, she performed. She sounded pretty good, although there were some technical issues near the end. She did a cover of Euphoria, which wasn't too bad. That got the crowd a bit more pumped up. And we also had a few other people as well appear on stage. I want to say... Now, you're going to have to bear with me here because I can't actually remember her name. I think it was Motsi Mabuse. Is that her name? I'm not entirely familiar with who she is, to be completely honest with you, but she came onto the stage at the front a few times and just shouted quite a bit, to be honest with you. I won't lie. And then she cleared off, and the clock was ticking ever closer to 8. We were right next to the Liver building, and you could see the clock, and the excitement was building. And then, of course, the show began, without warning. And everybody started cheering. And... yeah, I'm not going to talk about the contest itself here, that's for my next video, but the atmosphere built up and built up as the evening went on, and it was really, really busy, as I've already said. Thousands and thousands of people, and we had other people sitting next to us. At one point, there was this girl in a white dress, and she had this little flag with Mr. Men on it, and it said something like, "Spread love and happiness," and she was just dancing about, having a great time, waving this flag over my head and then Peter's head, and I thought, this is lovely. Some people were really, really into it. But what I will say, and Peter would agree with me if he was here, a lot of people in the Eurovision Village, I say a lot, a fair few people in the Eurovision Village, weren't there to watch Eurovision. They were there for a night out. They were puffing away on their vapes, and I thought, hang on a minute, that's not what this is all about. Pay attention to the show. Damn you! That's what I thought. So yeah, I'm standing there watching Lord of the Lost as this quite fragrant strawberry vape smell wafts over towards me. I'm thinking, dear oh dear. But it was fantastic. I know I'm repeating myself here, but it was great, and Peter, who's not a big Eurovision fan, loved every minute of it as well. I should say the Venga Boys performed too. They weren't bad. We both thought, you know, they did a fairly good job. The show wore on. In terms of the biggest cheers, Finland by an absolute mile. By a mile. It wasn't even close. I was having a great time when that came on. Big cheers for Czechia. Australia. Absolutely. Estonia. Whether it was just on the big screen and the audio coming through, I really don't know, but Estonia got a pretty big cheer, which was lovely. And the UK, of course. And what was interesting as well, during the recap, I had my slip of paper. I was like, right, my predictions are here. Let's see what happens. It was interesting because I was saying to Peter about some songs standing out more than others and how the running order can be really fatal. And we both mentioned Cyprus. And my God, that Cypriot entry we completely forgot about. And Switzerland. Peter said Switzerland didn't really stand out much either. And we were thinking about the reaction of the fans in the village too. And everybody got a warm round of applause, but certainly some songs were more popular than others, that's for sure. Then the votes came in, and Peter turned to me and said, "It's not going well for Finland." Peter, 2 countries have given their votes so far. But it was really, really interesting because I've never watched anything like that with thousands of other people around me, let alone just one friend. So I'm standing there, and I'm as focused as I possibly can be, you know, turning my head just to see exactly how well certain countries are doing. Portugal, unfortunately, was another country that we sort of forgot about a little bit too, even though that went down a storm. And after the jury results, we both said, Sweden are winning this. And let me tell you right now, in the village, it wasn't necessarily that people disliked Sweden's song. It was more that they were disappointed that every set of 12 points seemed to be going Loring's way. So there was a real sense of deflation, no doubt about that. It was more like, oh, clap, 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 oh, clap, 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 clap. It wasn't like, yes! It wasn't really like that at all. So after the jury votes, Sweden well in front, as I predicted, as most of us did. Finland lagging behind a little bit, but still up there. Then the public votes came in, and I'm holding my friend's phone like this, trying to avoid getting my double chin in shot. and watching the results and trying to focus over the loud noise as much as possible. Oh boy, I don't really know if that video turned out terribly well. But the votes came in, and when the UK got 9, boo! There was a fair amount of booing for that. What a shame, by the way, about May Muller's result. And Germany, woof! I'll tell you about some German fans in a moment. And then Spain, well, I nearly keeled over. But as the results came in, the atmosphere was building, and Finland's mark came up, and the crowd were going big for it. 370 plus points, absolutely fantastic. I'm having an absolute dance and celebration right there with Peter. And then Graham Norton says, Sweden need this many points to win. And it was, that was the sound that you could hear. And me and Peter looked at each other and said, she's going to get that. And she did, comfortably so, second with the public. Sweden winning for a record equaling 7th time. Loreen, the first woman, to win twice. And at that point, whoosh, people were heading for the exit, including me and Peter, but that's because we had a long drive home, not because we didn't want to see her lift the trophy or anything. So yeah, that was it. We got back to the car park, the multi-storey, and this is where the German fans come in. We're walking back, it's about a 20-minute walk, and I could hear these voices behind me, and it was two guys saying, nobody likes us, no matter what we try, nobody cares, I don't know what more we can do, blah blah blah. I turned, and it was two German chaps having this sort of somewhat angry debate, and I thought, I feel really sorry for you. Germany did not deserve to finish last this year, in my opinion. Dear oh dear. And then we got back to the car park, having manoeuvred our way through lots of Eurovision fans and plenty of drunken scousers wearing next to nothing. And it was the drive home, and I had a bit of a sore neck because of the sun beating down on it for most of the day, and it still hurts a bit now. We stopped once on the way home, and I got back here at about 3:30 in the morning and went straight to bed. So yes, a long day, but what a great day. It just felt good to be in the city where it was happening. We walked right past the arena, and I thought, yes, I'll just... I'm a member of the press. I thought I'll sneak in and see what's happening. But yeah, it was just fantastic. It looked great. The atmosphere was wonderful. And apart from some dodgy results, what a fantastic evening it was. Now, in terms of the programme book, which I thought I'd show you, this is it. £20 it cost me. You can't really see it on camera, but this is really, really lovely. And a great memento for the day. I wasn't interested in most of the merchandise, but I thought I'll have this because why not? There's a bit about the presenters, Graham Norton. I don't know if people from outside Britain have been able to hear clips of Graham Norton's commentary, because he was doing the commentary as well as being on stage doing some of the presenting bits. And I thought this must be really weird for him, because he's said all of these things about the musicians and now he's the one announcing how many points they've got on stage. Oh, he said some very funny things. Alicia Dixon, who I think was the weak link out of the four, but there we are. Julia Sanina, Hannah Waddingham, yep, fantastic. And then it just goes through all of the artists. So shall we do a whistle-stop tour while I'm here? Alessandra, mwah, mwah, love her vlogs. The Busker, 3 crappy points, what's that about? Luke Black, said the juries wouldn't like him, I thought the public would a bit more. Latvia, unlucky boys, better luck next year. Portugal deserved a bit more love. Ireland, I mean, to finish where they did with that amount of points, I think the juries need to come back. Croatia, well, you know. Switzerland, very good. Israel, 3rd place. How about that, eh? For the 2nd contest in a row, a pop bop with a dance break finishes 3rd, and the juries had her in 2nd place. Yeah. Fair to say my friend had a crush on her. Moldova, not bad, but didn't stand out enough. Sweden is what it is. Stockholm 2024, potentially. Azerbaijan, yeah, not brilliant. Czech Republic, very good. Saved their best performance for Saturday night. Netherlands, alas, not to be. Finland, well, what more can you say about this man? Just went off in the Eurovision Village when he performed. Denmark, ooh, only Iceland gave him many points, I believe. Armenia, yeah, that was nice. Deserved a bit more love, maybe. Romania, all over the shop. Estonia, the result of the year. The result of the year. Belgium, fair play, he did well. Cyprus, forgot about it. Iceland, deserved more. Greece, needed better staging. Poland, also the result of the year? I mean, come on. She didn't do a bad job. Slovenia deserved more, absolutely. Georgia, I'm not surprised by the result, but she did a good job. San Marino, 0 points. Austria, running order was damaging. Albania, top 10 with the public, wasn't it, in the final? Remarkable, not bad. Lithuania, not bad. Oh, Australia, this was mega, as Peter said. It really was a stellar performance. And then we had France. Well, what happened there? Running order? Maybe it wasn't that sensational, I don't know. Germany, oh dear me. Honestly, what more can Germany do? I really don't know. But this was not poor enough to finish last. Italy. Yeah, should have expected that result, to be honest. Spain. What happened with Spain? I'd like to know. Ukraine, this wasn't bad, but I think the score was fairly generous. And then, of course, May Muller for the UK. What a representative for the UK this year. Alas, any momentum that song had just fell off a cliff very quickly, unfortunately. Anyway, I'll talk more about the contest and those results in my next video, and it will be a long one, which is why I've got some Lucozade. Oh boy. Oof. I don't know when I'm going to film that, probably tomorrow, but stick around because I will be uploading that as and when, and hopefully some footage from Liverpool will surface on this channel soon too. Apologies for rambling, but more videos will be coming soon. Let me know your thoughts if you were in Liverpool too. I think Shane from Shane's Eurovision Review was in the village. I didn't see him. I don't know if he was there on Saturday. Noosh was there though. Maxi Rainbow was there. Quite a few people, but I didn't see anybody I recognised, to be honest with you. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves. Apologies if there was any lag, and let me know your thoughts. Bye for now.